My best friend is exhausting me. I can't handle her anymore.
Get her out of there.
Get her out of there. She's too hard to handle.
She's too hard to handle.
I'm exhausted, man.
Woo.
This is going to be a long one since I need to explain everything so I don't seem like a booty cheek for dropping her for, quote, no reason. Names are replaced for privacy, and I'd rather her not see this. I, female 22, met Jane, female 21, on our first day of high school. She was much more extroverted than I was, and I had just moved to a new city, so I was desperate for friends. We weren't very close for freshman year. I had another good friend, but she graduated, and once she did, Jane and I became close. This comes from user Bloody Socks on the r/OKstorytime subreddit.
Bloody socks.
So, we were extremely close throughout the rest of high school to the point where I'd confidently say she was my best friend.
Okay.
She was with me through a lot of difficult things with my mom and through some deaths in her family. She and I needed each other at the time. We mostly bonded over the extremely difficult stuff. However, after we graduated nearly 4 years ago now, Jane moved out of state. We grew apart. She had a job now, and so did I. I still considered her a close friend, but seeing as we only talked once a week or so, it's not like either of us made much effort to remain close. It's not her fault or mine. Distance puts a strain on any relationship, and we were both just so busy. For the brief times that we did talk, most of it consisted of her complaining about one thing or another, and I felt more like her therapist than her friend. My resentment of her really grew, and it got to the point where I dreaded any time she came back to briefly visit. About 2 years after she left, she actually moved back to our home state. By that time, she and I had very little in common. We still clicked more or less, but a lot of our bonding still came from bringing up things from high school. Jane's silver spoon upbringing was also becoming a problem. For context, I grew up dirt poor. I'm talking about me, my 2 siblings, and my mom in a 300 by 300 square foot cabin with no utilities in the middle of the woods. There were times when we would have starved if our neighbors didn't help bring us food. Jane, on the other hand, grew up with 2 different houses in an upper middle class area for her entire life. Her definition of poor and mine are very different. She sees it as a disaster when she can't pay her for her Netflix subscription. Despite that, she still claims that she grew up poor and constantly complains about it, and she still does to this day. To add to this, she struggles to pay for things like her car insurance every month when she has multiple inheritances that she can access at any time. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions. She still lives with her parents rent-free. And on top of this, she's perfectly healthy, but complains about working 4-hour shifts for 3 days a week. Stop.
Is she in school? Is she only working 12 hours?
Yeah.
I was doing 12-hour shift plus school plus theater rehearsals. Is she only doing a 12-hour?
Well, it's too much for her.
That's crazy.
You got to understand that she's also dirt poor with her 2 houses and her, inheritances.
Her multiple inheritances. Sorry, I forgot those.
She can't hold a job. She always has some problem or another that makes her quit within a few weeks, no matter where it's at. And it's always someone else's fault. Very telling. I've also spent more money on her than she has on me. And if I happen to borrow any money, I pay her back as soon as possible. When it's like pulling teeth trying to get $5 back from her. Multiple birthdays, I've gotten her an extremely well thought out gift that I know she'll love, and she keeps getting me socks.
No.
This is not an exaggeration. It is always socks. Every dang time. I guess I should be glad she's thinking of me at least. Our financial differences bother me quite a bit, but I don't bring it up because I know it won't get anywhere. I believe it's definitely one of the main factors in our strained relationship though. As I mentioned, by the time Jane moved back up, we had little in common. Completely different friends, interests, and lives. But neither of us had any, aside from one, in-person friends. They all moved away or were online. So we automatically started hanging out again as much as before. She ended up getting a job at the same place I worked, and she was the only one with a license, so she'd drive me to and from work a lot. And I'd end up staying at her place for days at a time. Before then, I never spent that much consecutive time with her, but being around her nonstop for that long without a break took a toll on my patience for her. I'm an introvert. I'm not very sociable in the first place. Yeah, just being around anyone that amount of time at all is going to have a strain.
You gotta do something.
There's going to be bumps in the road.
Yeah.
You gotta try to smooth them out. During the time that she was working with me, I went through another big traumatic event with a roommate, and she was there to help me through it. I was already pulling away from her at that time, but having that shoulder to lean on guilted me into staying closer to her. I mean, like, I don't know. Low key, it sounds like this person's your friend and you're trying to convince yourself that she's not because there's an aspect of her that you don't like.
Yeah, it was considerate of her to be there. Like, it does seem like she was helpful. But I do think also...
multiple aspects of her that you do not like.
I think also you don't necessarily have to be friends with anyone you don't want to be friends with.
It's true. By this point, about a year ago, I was really trying to move out of my mom's place, especially since my roommate didn't work out. Jane was also trying to get her own place because her relationship with her parents isn't very good. They do control quite a bit of her life, even now. They were never outright abusive, but just very controlling. Since both of us wanted to leave, we decided to try and work towards moving in together. When her mom found out, she offered to rent us one of her houses. They have 4. For a fair price. I agreed, but as time went on and we hammered out more details, her parents altered, trying to control things. I did as well. I was given all sorts of rules to follow if I was going to live in the house. I tried bringing up my concerns to her, but she seemed to think it was perfectly normal, which I guess it is. If they're renting out the house to you,
it depends on what the rules are.
There would be rules, but yeah, we do need to figure out what they are. Jane's parents are the type of people who would keep a spare key to the house just so they can barge in whenever they like, and Jane would be perfectly fine with it since it's what she's used to. The more I learned about my new potential living situation, the more I wanted to leave, but I wanted to try to get Jane out from under her parents' thumb, even if it meant putting myself in that situation too. Although under no real obligation, I still felt like I had to help. Even if her parents had the lease, at least they wouldn't be living with her to suffocate her even more. I'd like to clarify that as much as Jane pisses me off, I do still love her and care about her deeply. See, there we go.
It's so confusing.
It's you're
You're flip-flopping too much.
This all accumulated to me being trapped in a nightmare. I knew if I didn't move in with her that she'd most likely stay living with her parents for who knows how long. Then the plan changed when her mother wanted her to move up 3 months sooner than we planned. This would have been fine, except I didn't have enough saved up yet. Exactly. It would have been fine, except it's not at all.
Fine.
I'm not ready.
Fine.
You can't just move plans up like that. Jane could go. She had no savings, but her parents paid for the entire moving process again. I didn't have that luxury, so I had to stay. She ended up moving back with her parents, all because they wanted someone to take care of their dogs while they went on vacation. Honestly, I was glad for the break from her. Jane's still living there currently. We'd planned before for me to come up at that later date, but I finally told her why I didn't want to go, and she said she understood. I still feel guilt, though. For the most part, we've just drifted apart. It happens. I've drifted from nearly all of my friends from high school, and so has she. Little things over the years have built up to the point where I get annoyed every time she texts me. I dread her ever wanting to call. We hardly have any interest in common at all as well. She still tries to talk to me about shows that she likes, but I don't understand any of it, and I don't want to.
She's like, oh my God, did you see Arcane? She's like, I don't freaking know what you're talking about.
No, and I hate that. If you guys join us every weekday at 3 p.m. when we go live on YouTube, just tap our profile.
Just tap it. Just tap it.
Tap it. So yeah, I think the solution here, as we've said,
yeah.
OP's got a friend that's not really her friend, and OP's friend thinks that she has a friend that's not really her friend. So both parties are losing. And you need to cut your losses and
so
just
that you
let
can
it
win.
Go. Let it go. Let it go.
As Elsa says.
This person is not your friend.
You can sing that to her.
Just sing like
a
song,
little
let it
choreographed friendship breakup song.
Mm-hmm. The most difficult part about all of this is that she still thinks we're best friends. I can't bring myself to tell her otherwise, so I lie every time she asks me, and she asks a lot.
Bro.
I wonder if she knows. I feel guilty for her annoying me. She hasn't done anything wrong. I'm just tired of her. And I know she has better friends than me, so she's not completely dependent on me for her happiness. I just want to let her go, but I don't know if I'd be wrong for dropping her. Any advice is appreciated. I can clarify most anything if needed.
And that's the end of that story.
You just need to drop her. Like, it literally sounds like you got it. You're like, I want to let her go, but I don't know if I'd be wrong.
My advice is you go to her and you say, hey, talk about how you guys aren't aligned anymore, how it's just been really hard to be her friend, and you don't feel like you're doing her a service by lying to her anymore, because this is just not benefiting either of you.
You can just...
Because she's probably feeling anxious about whether or not you hate her.
Especially if she's asking a lot now. It's like, she knows something's up.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Like, it's the worst feeling in the world to be like, oh, I think my friends hate me, and then they do.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Just freaking,
There's no good situation for the friend.
No.
Like, the friend is going to
be hurt
bad feelings
regardless,
no matter what. So.
But she's being actively hurt, and you're also being actively hurt, so just...
You're making her live that lie.
Yeah.
Of, like, the friend.
Mm-hmm.